Kash Patel thought no one would ever see that note. He was wrong. September 17, 2025, afternoon, around 2:34 p.m. A photographer from Getty, was it Loss or Brennan, I don't remember, shifted his camera a few degrees to the right, a routine movement. Patel had just finished his argument with Congressman Thomas Massie, and he was settling back into his seat. There was nothing interesting in the frame. Until that few-degree shift brought a piece of paper on the desk into view. 72 hours, 5.3 million views, and Kash Patel's life would never be the same again. Now let's go back to that day. The hearing room in the Rayburn building that Wednesday afternoon had its usual atmosphere. You know how it is, C-SPAN cameras rolling, reporters in the back rows playing with their phones, an occasional cough. No one expected anything historic that day, including me. Patel was sitting at the witness table, dark navy suit, American flag pin, that usual "I know what I'm doing" expression. The FBI director had been in this seat for 7 months and had survived dozens of similar hearings. This would be just another one of those. At least, that's what he thought. The first hour and a half was boring. Budget questions, cybersecurity updates, counterterrorism figures. Patel deflected each question with that familiar bureaucratic language. He looked comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then, Thomas Massie took the microphone. For those who don't know Massie, a Kentucky Republican, engineering background, the kind of man who prepares his questions in advance and never asks a question without knowing the answer. While others put on a show for the cameras, Massie reads documents. That's what makes him dangerous. "Director Patel," Massie began. His voice was sharp but calm. "I'd like to move to the Epstein files." The air in the room changed. Reporters put down their phones. There was a stirring in the back rows. Something flickered across Patel's face. Just for a moment, maybe unease, maybe calculation. Then that familiar mask came back. "The FBI has conducted comprehensive reviews on all matters related to the Epstein investigation," he said. Standard answer, from memory. Massie opened his folder. In March, Attorney General Bondi instructed the FBI to review approximately 100,000 Epstein records. Is that correct? 100,000. The number hung in the air. Whispers rose from the press gallery. This information wasn't public. How did Massie know? Patel's fingers tightened on the edge of the table. "Congressman, it wouldn't be appropriate to discuss internal investigation processes." That wasn't the question. Yes or no? And right then, Patel did something no one expected. Slowly, deliberately, he began reciting the alphabet. A, B, C, D. The room froze. What was this man doing? Was he joking? Trying to run out the clock? No one understood. I still don't. Massie's time ran out. The committee chairman moved on to the next name. Patel leaned back in his chair. He looked at his desk. Slightly, very slightly, he nodded. That look, that nod. The Getty photographer's shutter clicked at that exact moment. The image hit the agencies within an hour. Before evening, Aaron Rupar shared it on X. He didn't even comment, just posted the photo. 12 hours, 5 million views. What was in the photo? FBI letterhead, 4 lines of handwriting in blue ink. Good fight with Massie. Hold the line. Deflect his attacks. Get ahead of the partisan attack. Stop for a moment and let this sink in. The FBI director, the nation's top law enforcement official, testifying before Congress. And what's on his desk? A motivational note he wrote to himself. Good fight. Deflect. Hold the line. This isn't a briefing note. This is what a boxing coach says from the corner. The internet exploded, of course. One user wrote, "This is the pep talk I give myself before meeting my family on holidays." Another, "Like a middle schooler trying to pass a calculus exam." Funny, yes, but underneath it lies something much darker. Think about it. What did Patel bring into that room? Concrete information about the Epstein files? No. Answers to the victims' questions? No. A transparency plan? No. He came with a note that said, "Deflect his attacks." This isn't preparation, this is defense strategy, or rather, a rehearsal for obstruction. I wonder how Massie felt when he saw his own name. I mean, think about it. You're a congressman, you're questioning the FBI director, and the man has noted you down as a good fight. You're asking about sex trafficking documents, and he sees it as a personal match. The timing? Terrible. That same week, Patel was taking criticism from both parties over the Charlie Kirk assassination investigation. That same week, senators were asking why the Epstein documents were still classified. That same week, former FBI officials had filed lawsuits saying, "We failed Trump's loyalty test. We got fired." And Patel's response? A piece of paper telling himself to hold the line. Hold the line. This phrase has a specific meaning in politics. It means, I'm under pressure, but I won't break. War terminology. But what are you fighting against, Patel? Congress? The victims? Transparency demands? Or the truths that are about to come out? In the same hearing, Patel said another sentence that, when I heard it, I couldn't believe my ears. When Massie asked about Epstein's human trafficking operation, Patel said this: "There is no credible information that Epstein provided young women to anyone other than himself." No credible information. Wait, there are victims who gave statements to the FBI. They gave 20 different names. There are flight records. There are documents stretching from world leaders to businessmen. And the FBI director says, no credible information. The same man. The man with "deflect his attacks" written on his desk. One day earlier, on September 16th, Patel was at the Senate Judiciary Committee. A similar picture there too. Denial, deflection, evasion. Senator Cory Booker said something that day. Everyone ignored it at the time, but now it sounds like a prophecy. No matter how much you bow to Donald Trump's will more than the Constitution, Booker said, we've seen that Trump isn't loyal to men like you. He'll throw you away. This might be my last hearing with you, because I don't think you'll keep this seat for long. Patel dismissed it as a misinformation attack. The two men ended the conversation shouting at each other. But the note? The note told a different story. Constitutional lawyers grasped the issue immediately. The FBI director must be independent. He must serve the laws, not individuals. He owes Congress honest answers, not psychological defense notes. If a director comes to a hearing with a "how do I survive" plan, something has broken. The mission is lost. The vision is gone. A retired FBI agent summed it up like this: you prepare for these hearings with facts, documents, concrete answers, not by writing yourself notes about how to win the fight with members of Congress. Let's look at Patel's background. This man is not a traditional FBI director. He appeared on MAGA podcasts. No years of law enforcement experience, just loyalty to Trump. He was confirmed 51 to 49. He said, there will be no politicization. He said, there will be no retaliation. Then he wrote, "Get ahead of the partisan attack" on his desk. What happens now? The photo is archived. 5 million views are in the permanent record. But the real question goes far beyond this image. How many other hearings did Patel walk into like this? How many questions were deflected? How many documents stayed in the dark for the sake of holding the line? 3 separate committees have opened investigations. Legal experts are saying, the worst law enforcement scandal since Watergate. Even Republicans who initially supported Patel are now talking behind closed doors, saying, can we even defend this man anymore? That note was supposed to stay private, a personal strategy paper, a survival guide for hostile territory. But cameras see everything. And sometimes 4 lines of blue ink tell more than 4 hours of rehearsed words. Good fight with Massie, hold the line, deflect his attacks, get ahead of the partisan attack. Patel didn't come to that room to answer questions. He came to win. The note says it clearly. The only question is this: where does this country go with an FBI run by a man who sees transparency as an attack and Congress as an enemy line? I don't know, but we'll all see the answer soon enough.